Mm. You have to ask a question again, please. Sorry. My bad. Hello, y'all. Unfortunately, earlier as I was live, and due to my incompetence, the video ended prematurely. I apologize to those who were following live, who were enjoying it in the flow of it. If anybody comes back now, it will be beautiful. Otherwise, I'm just going to share it anyway. I'm going to say some things. I'm going to complete it because I like completing things and it wasn't complete. So I'm going to complete this today. And those who were watching earlier, they can always watch it. I'm going to share it. Beautiful. Sorry, we're going to do it again. Ask your question again. Nothing can ever be repeated anyway. All right, Heraclitus, that's a fact of life. So we'll create something else in this moment. But ask the same question.
Same question. My question was, what is the point of, well, the whole narrative about waking up and the deep state and all the things that are going on behind the scenes in underground bunkers? If I were to hear all about that and absorb that, what difference does that make?
Okay, thank you. And I'm going to pretend as if I haven't talked about this for the past 30 minutes. And it wasn't recording. So, well, thank you for playing along with me and not allowing my incompetence to drive me crazy. I love you guys. Somebody else is watching right now. I don't know who he is, but I suspect maybe one of the people that were watching earlier. So the topic was about sex, spirituality, and politics. Can they coexist? And I say, of course. And I'm going to finish what I was saying earlier until I feel in my heart. That's usually how I work. I keep speaking until my heart tells me that, okay, that's enough for today. Otherwise, I could keep going on. So, as I was saying earlier to you, thinking it was being recorded, I personally feel like part of the issue on the planet Earth right now is because people who are religious are also in politics, vice versa. That is very dangerous in my view. Why do I say it's dangerous? Because I separate spirituality from religion. They can coexist, of course. You can do both, but they're different. As long as you know they're different, then it's fine. When you go to church or temple, go sing worship songs to some god or deity. It's fine. Enjoy it. You know, I mean, we all love to love, right? If you love humans, you can add some gods and goddesses to it and love them too. I have no issue with that. I mean, it's like a love affair with a god or goddess, just not human. That's fine. But spirituality, what I call spirituality, is either awakening the Kundalini through the chakras. That means you yourself are on the path of becoming a god or goddess. You're awakening yourself. Now, that's what I call spirituality, by the grace of existence of the universe, of course. You are becoming like the one you're worshiping. That's what religion classically was meant to do. To say these guys that you're worshiping, you're honoring, you also have the potential within yourself. While you're worshiping them, now you can also be that. And that's what I call the secret mystery teachings. We have a secret school mystery teachings, where people are guided into how they can awaken their own, call it whatever you want to call it, Holy Spirit, I don't know, Kundalini, some energy, Chi, Tai Chi, whatever name. Oh, as long, in my view, as it supports your evolution, I'm for it. I have friends who are against the path of chakra. I love them to death, but they're against things. That's fine because I respect that. And there are people that say, "Oh no, that's the only way," and I'm like, "No, that's spiritual fascism." No, there are many ways to awakening, and some people don't want to use the Kundalini method, and I respect it because Kundalini has its advantages and disadvantages. And for those who are interested, I'll say that right now. In my view, one of the advantages of Kundalini is a vertical path. Kundalini, right, is a vertical path. That is good because once it rises, it begins to just flow. As long as you living your life, you're participating with life, you're present, it will keep rising. So that's the downside. That I don't blame people that don't want to use that. I know this is not a common conversation. People think it's only the chakras you can use. No, 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 no. It's only one of the ways. It's powerful. It's one of the best ways in my view, but it's not the only way. No, no, I don't think it's the best either. Why? They are faster paths, but they take more courage. That's why people are often, it's not often taught. Those are the immediate path, the pathway by any moment, boom, you're gone. Now you're here, awake. Those are spontaneous paths, and those paths, I don't want to call it bypass. It just shoots through the middle and is direct, but it takes courage because the chakras gives you opportunity to like land. Ah, this is this chakra. Oh, this is what it feels like, and you enjoy it maybe for a lifetime or for 2 days, depending on what you're ready for. Some people go to one chakra and they stay there for like lifetime because it's so good. But some people are more intelligent and they keep moving. They're like, okay, if this is so good, let's go to the next one. Oh, this must be more fulfilling. But that's the truth. But the other path is immediate. You just go home. One day, you're suicidal. Following day, you're awake. That is what I call the more feminine path. And that's why I recommend for some people. But it just takes courage because it switches you so fast. Very fast. And that takes a lot of courage. And the body has to be strong to withstand it. That's why it's often not taught. Because some of these techniques, and I hope to be sharing this in future workshops, whatever that I design, whereby they're so fast. But the body has to be able to withstand the shock of it. Otherwise, that person can die. That's part of the downside of that method, just to be honest with you. That person will explode into that level. It will happen. But then they won't be able to absorb it. It's like electric shock. Put your hand in the socket, you can't absorb it. So that's why the body is often very necessary. But fortunately, people who are often very courageous often tend to have a bit of a stronger body. I don't mean one can not be unhealthy, but it's just generally because that path is for people who are very down to earth. That path is for people who are down to earth very much. Then that technique is good for them immediately because they are little crazy people. They're more spontaneous. They can be like, sure, show me. But most people like the step by step. Either way, just trust your own nature. That's what I tell people. Whatever feels right, follow it. If it doesn't feel right, don't follow it. Don't bother with it. Or you can do learning it for a while till you get bored with it. Because you can do it for a while and just jump off anyway. But you can start with it. Anyway, that's not the point of this conversation. Well, I just wanted to say that because that came up, so I figured maybe there's somebody that is watching or maybe watching in the future. Because as some of you know, this is coming from the source. So, what else? So I hope I did some justice to that. I don't think I did a little justice. Okay, let me say a little more about that, just to be more. So, those people who say, why bother to learn about this? Like, of course, I'm not saying you're saying that, but you're asking for the sake of posterity, right? Well, maybe that's how you think. I don't know, right? Who knows, right? But you can tell me later. But, sorry?
No, I've learned about this stuff and then it doesn't seem to change my
The life.
life.
You're very practical. It's like, how does it change your life? Now, people don't want to, how's that going to affect my bills? Or whatever, the practical mind, yeah. But in my view, that's what I call the basis of true education. Without critical thinking being taught, and you have to apply that critical thinking to all aspects of life, in my view. That's why there are things that I never knew about. Like, I wasn't born in this country, but I applied the critical thinking to the situation. I began to figure shit out. It's just simple. You just apply that rule. So that's how some things that I say, people might call it conspiracy theories. I'm like, no, it just requires critical thinking. Just stand back a little. Because it takes a little bit of space to be able to think critically. People think logic and presence, spiritual path, don't go together. The truth is, only he or she who's present can be really logical. Because logic requires a little distance. Otherwise, you're caught up in your own idea. And you can't be logical. That's the root of it, being illogical. You can't see somebody else's idea. You're so caught up in it. But with presence, you can back up a little bit and I can even see my own idea. Then I can say, oh, that's Oluwa's idea. Oh, what is your idea? Oh, boom, boom, boom. Oh, they are all colors of the rainbow of oneness. Oh, I guess if I take the best part of your idea, best part of my idea, we work together. Wow. But unfortunately, people have been taught that logic is not congruent to spirituality. That's the absolute rubbish. In fact, the reason why a lot of people so-called are non-spiritual today is because they're not logical. They're too much of a believer. They believe too much. Logic begins with doubt. The doubting is what I call the missing link between primitive man and so-called modern man. The doubting mind is not in the primitive man or woman. There's a beauty to it, yes. It's simpler, but they can easily be wiped out. Easily. Because they don't have the technology to defend themselves. So that's why I love primitive culture, but I also love modern man. Because it's necessary. So many primitive tribes have vanished. The biggest, we come and wipe them out. So that's why I say let's have new cultures that are a combination of primitive world and civilization. What do I mean? Let's build cities in jungles. Cities have to be built again in the jungles, in the forests. One of my favorite teachers, oh, I love so much, Jose. If you're watching now, you know how much I love you. He has an example of it in Mexico. It's gorgeous, small, but goodness, in the midst of the jungle. It's like an oasis in the desert. More and more like that. The man and woman can maintain that balance better. The nature, you get to take walks in nature. Everywhere surrounding is nature. You can't get out of the city without encountering nature. Then you can still be a city person. Otherwise, when people choose one or the other, they will suffer. I guarantee. That's why, as much as I love primitive men, I also know they tend to suffer. So-called primitive jungle people, simple tribal system. They've chosen nature. That's the thing. They've chosen just nature. No mind, no logic. But I'm like, sooner than later, they're going to get wiped out because somebody will come more aggressive. And I don't support that. In an ideal situation, both will coexist. That's what I would have preferred. Because to me, the so-called primitive man is a reminder and hope for all of us all. Because when you see these people, if you don't notice their beauty, then you're not paying attention. These primitive people, they're so simple, so elegant, so gorgeous, so simple. They just go, okay, I'm going to eat now. They may burp, fart in your face, all kinds of stuff. You're just going on. And they're not even aware of it. And you're going, ew, 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 all day long. And I'm not saying we should do that in public before farting. I'm just saying there's a natural spontaneity about them. So I'm not saying burp or fart in front of people. I'm not recommending. I'm just talking about how innocent they are. Imagine somebody who can keep that energy, the innocence of a child, like a primitive person, just playing with the sophistication of the mind. Wow. That's the kind of mind that I feel like the modern man, well, also it might be called the new man. A man or woman who can be like a primitive, enjoy the bodily senses. Because unless you can be a primitive, you can't enjoy sex and all the pleasures of the body. No. I will bet money on it. You can't. Because your head will get in the way. You won't be there if you be thinking about all kinds of shit. No, you have to be like an animal but with presence. Forget the mind. Be present and make love. Be present and eat. Forget the mind. Those moments are gorgeous when you're a pure animal but conscious animal. And then when it's time to do mathematics or teach philosophy, then you pick up the mind again. Otherwise, the mind is always with us. Let's throw that shit in. Put it aside and just say, time to be primitive right now. There's my beloved here, my friends are here. Let's run around, run around and go crazy. Who cares about the logic? But to be able to say, oh, now time for logic, that's part of what I call the beauty of a man, the modern man. That's the beauty of it. Because you can do both. You can be primitive, really, really, almost like an animal, just wild, joyful. But when it's time to use the mind in the business, to balance your account, to do this thing, okay, you know how to switch. That's, personally, in my opinion, that's what existence wants for people, for man. Because then you're balanced. You can be both. You can be wild, primitive. You can be really city. Then you're balanced human. Otherwise, if you choose one or the other, you become so cityfied. Forget about the forest life and spontaneity. Now you're in trouble again. Now you're going to be very powerful, but you're going to be so miserable. That's what a lot of modern men have chosen. Always in the city. Always in the goddamn city. Never live in the city. Not going to water. Nature. And then they act very metallic and very insensitive. They wonder why. He or she who doesn't go into the forest will destroy nature. Because you won't appreciate it. You don't go there. If you spend any amount of considerable time in nature, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and you're in your heart, you breathe in, working a little slower, you will fall in love with nature because she's so generous. So generous. All the trees. I mean, when I walk past some of these plants and they're dancing in this, I'm like, I just weep sometimes. So the abundance of it, it's like, man, unbelievable. So generous, and they're bombarding you with negative ions. That's what you need to relax. They will charge you, but not in a yang way to take you to work. Relax you. They are friends. The trees. People go to India looking for a guru. I'm like, that tree, that big one near you, let that be your guru, and you'll be good. Every day, hug it in presence. Hug it, make it your friend. Stay with it for like a few minutes. Say hi to it. Breathe. Suddenly you find your energy rising. without any, what's going on? Because trees are very generous. When you make friends with them, you stand with them, they want to make you like themselves. And trees are pure energy. See how tall they are? And they'll pull your own energy too. They'll make you like a human tree. And a human tree, in my view, is a truly awakening being. Because we're meant to be like trees. Like you can sit like a tree, not even a finger is moving. That's a being right there. I talk to the tree and say thank you. Of course, yeah, Cheryl, yeah. Talk to the tree. Make friends with it, hug it in presence. Because if you're talking like language logic, the tree goes, get the fuck out of here. The tree doesn't understand that. But if you're quiet, you breathe in, you have love in your heart, you don't have to go to India. Honestly. Even the Buddha, where did he attain enlightenment? Under the Bodhi tree. I think there's something to be said about that. Under the tree. That was his guru. The tree said, okay, you've been starving yourself, Buddha. You're all skinny and shit. We got to help you out here. Come sit down. Bring your ass over here. Buddha, I love you, you know. I just like to make jokes. I said, bring your skinny ass over here. Let's wake you up. You've done enough. Come here. And then he sat there, collapsed there, and boom. The tree did it. All the yoga, all the meditation. The tree just said, come here, bring your ass here. I got something for you. That's why, for hundreds of years, nobody drew a picture of the Buddha, only the tree. I love the Eastern wisdom in so many ways. It's not perfect, but goodness sake, they have some diamonds. Because they're showing that tree for thousands, hundreds, I would say hundreds of years. Because the Buddha made it very clear. Don't make an image of me. Because people start worshiping the Buddha and they think they're being spiritual. No, you're begging. You're a beggar. Stop begging. Stop begging. But people think, oh, I'm a good Buddhist. No, you're not. The Buddha, a true Buddhist says, Buddha said, be a Buddha. Don't be a Buddhist. It's okay to be both. You can study Buddhism. But don't make that more important. The being within you, that's what the focus should be on more. Buddhas want to create more Buddhas. Christ wants to create more Christ. That's what Christ was teaching. He said the kingdom of God is within you. And he said, I am, is the way, the truth, and the life. Anybody who tells you Christ said, I am the way, the truth, and the life, the only one, just know that they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They wrongly read scripture. And guess what? Somebody who copied that scripture didn't know what the fuck they're talking about. No true master will ever say that. It's impossible. That's the biggest ego. People talk about Trump ego. This is the biggest ego. I'm the only one. And people wonder why people are so narcissistic in these religions. Because the leader of faith is so narcissistic himself. That's what they're teaching you. That's narcissism. I'm the only one? What else is narcissism? No. How can any true awakened person say they're the only one? Come on. The existence so huge, infinite universe, trillions of galaxies and stars. And then only one guy. Oh, you are the. Come on, man. It's total BS. So that's probably what I'm talking about. Go back to your question. Give it more flesh. So for those who are like talking about why I'm saying if he wants us to know that, then you'll be manipulated. And you may be awake, spiritual, you may not need much, but you get tortured. And that's part of what actually I see as part of what's going on right now on the planet right now. We are all being pulled towards participating. Right? It's becoming more and more clear.
In politics?
Yes. Yes, I see it. Even people who never cared about it, even they're beginning to say, maybe I should vote. Maybe I should vote for this. They might not tell you they're going to vote for, but guess what? I know that people that will vote for Trump and black side and white side, people are going to be, because people don't trust the system anymore. They're beginning to say, okay, maybe I need to participate in this shit. Because they're taking basic freedoms. That's what it took for people to start waking up on this planet. That's shameful in my view. That's sad. To take all the freedom of people to say, oh, what the fuck is going on? Okay. Because it's one thing to take you on, 9/11. I don't know what people think about 9/11. Whatever side you're on that issue too. And they take rights. But yeah, give it all. The terrorists, fuck the terrorists. Kill them all. Take our rights. But now they ask you not to breathe. That's basically the way I look at it. Now people are going, okay, somebody's fucking with me. Okay, it's one thing for you to take that away, but now you're telling me not to breathe? The average person, don't let them deceive you and say they're not questioning. Whether you believe in mask or you don't believe, all of us were like, maybe they're right. Maybe they're right. Everybody's wondering, maybe they're right. But they won't tell you because everybody wants to be right. But somewhere deep down, that's why people are cutting off friendships. Because as long as you're friend with that person who doesn't agree with you, maybe one day you're going to go to them and say, you know what, I'm so sorry. I was an ass. I was an idiot. You were right mostly. Most people don't want to do that, so they just cut the person off. So now you can have a different clique and say, yeah, yeah, those people, yeah, we were wrong. But at least you don't tell the other side they were right all along. The way I look at it, we all have aspects of truth, in my view. Both sides have aspects of truth. So as long as one can know what's going on, then you can make what I call a conscious choice. You know what I mean by that? Conscious choice. To answer your question in terms of what is advantage, right? Well, if one makes a choice without consciousness, that's painful for the soul. But if you can see, like a bird, you can see and say, "Oh, that's what's going on." They make a choice. I tell my friends, don't worry. If you're going to choose this side, choose that side. If you're going to choose that side, choose that side. Just choose it consciously. What do I mean by to choose consciously? Like choosing a partner consciously? What does that mean, right? Question might arise. To choose consciously, in my view, is to see both in your lover, your beloved, your friend, the shadow and their light. Then you can say, okay, these are your shadows. Can I live with this? No. I love you. My heart is open to you, but I'm gone. Or I see your shadows. I can put up with that. I love you enough. And now you're choosing consciously. But if I say, oh, you're the best love I've ever had, nobody has ever made me feel the way you're, now you're in trouble because you are gassing. That's what I call true gaslighting. Now you're like blowing smoke out that motherfucking ass. Because you're not conscious. You're blind. People that say love is blind, that's what they mean. Not the true love of the soul. Emotional love is blind, it's dangerous. Because now you're projecting. You're not seeing both sides. You're an illusion. That's what I mean by to be conscious. If one can educate oneself, then you see what the manipulation is, who are the controllers, and then you can see both sides, all the parties. You can say, oh, this side here, they're good at this, but they're negative over here. Okay, this side over here, they're negative over there. I can live with their negativity. That's what, in my view, this election boils down to. It's saying, okay, I'll put my card on that good side, their good attributes. And this shadow, I can put up with what it could lead to. Or better still, in my opinion, better still, you say, I might vote for this side, but guess what? I'm going to be so alert and so on them, making sure they don't fuck around and they make sure they talk to the other side. That's what I recommend for every American, African, wherever you like in your country. I would say get ready to push their ass to talk to the other side because both sides have something beautiful about them, but you don't want to see it. That's truth as far as I see it. Force them. Say, we might be blah, blah, blah against abortion or for abortion, whatever, but those other side, there's a value to what they say. How can we work with them? That's the kind of world order that I feel like we need to be working towards. That freedom, those who want freedom, obsessive about freedom, gun rights, everything, let them have their say. Don't be against them. If you hate these guys, they're going to hate you too. And those that I say for queer rights, for black people rights, to elevate people, that's what their main interest is. They say a woman has the right, so-called left or whatever you want to call them, force the right to talk to them. And the left, the ones who are concerned about the queer issues, the identity issues, force your leaders to talk to the other side too, because they have some beauty in them too. Nobody has a whole monopoly on truth. But it takes one to be a little more gentle and be less self-righteous, that's all. Otherwise, I see too many moral fascists on both sides. I'm right, I'm right, I'm right. And when you're too right, guess what you're going to create? Hell on earth. That's what I see the world doing a lot. I'm right, I'm right, I'm right. No, I am right in some ways not so much. Truth is borrowed. The truth, that's what science really is. People think science is it's about objectivity. It's about, no, I disagree with you. Science is exploratory. That's why it might be only somebody who's a childlike can be a true scientist. Because you don't say, I know now. No. A true scientist will never say no. You say, for now, this is what I'm aware of. This is what I know. Because you may talk to that person, you borrow that, you add it to yours. Now you create gorgeous beauty, work of art. Right? Isn't that what art is? That color, that color, that color. Isn't that what we're trying to create on earth? And we can't even see it. It's so simple. If somebody paints something in one color, what would you call it? It's trash. You just throw one color on a piece of shit. You're like, I love that color. Normally, whether I don't care what color it is, you like it. But now it just looks ugly. Like, put some color in there too. Now you're creating beauty. That's truth that doesn't lead to beauty will create evil. I'm gonna write that down. Maybe you can write it for me, please. Truth that doesn't lead to beauty, I don't want to forget this, will create evil. Because the truth has to, science is looking for truth, but it has to work towards beauty. Truth that doesn't work, that's not working towards beauty will ultimately create evil. That's what science is doing. Scientists are not also artists. If I was a world leader, somebody gave me that, say, because I will force, okay, I won't force them because that's fascism, but I would encourage them strongly. Say you're a scientist, okay, also be a poet. Because that's part of what I love Einstein so much. I'm not saying he was a perfect human being, nobody is, I'm not. But Einstein also played, people don't know that he was also a violinist. In fact, that's part of what I consider is genius. Because somebody who's part artist, part scientist will create beauty somehow. That man died miserable. Why did he die miserable? Because he made errors. We all make mistakes. He contributed to the creation of the nuclear weapon, but that was not his intention. That's why it's not enough to just be a scientist. One also has to be awake and awakening. Because then you can see evil when it's coming near you. You can be like, okay, fuck you, I'm not going to give you that formula anymore because I know what you're going to do with that shit. But he was not awake. But he was a beautiful man. He didn't know what he was doing. He was giving those things to the wrong people. A beautiful man like Einstein. He in fact, before he died, he said he would have preferred to come back as a plumber than a scientist because that beautiful man, he saw what they did with his scientific research. And it's still happening right now. These beautiful scientists, but they don't know because evil can come to you in a beautiful disguise. Well, let's create, then we can evolve human life. Let's talk about this genetics. And the scientist is so happy. You're going to fund me to discover how to make people live longer? Scientists is so happy because most scientists are poor, right? You don't have the money, but you don't know the guy behind you waving the money at you and has all the plans. You give them the code, genetic code, and start killing people with it. You're like, oh shit, what did I do? That's what happened to Einstein in a different way. He gave the key of nuclear shit to the devil. And they made a nuclear weapon with it. But somebody if he had a little more spiritual insight, he would have seen it. He'd have been like, okay, just kill me. I'm not gonna give it to you. Because what is it? What's the point of being alive and serving evil? Because now I'm pretty sure his soul is repenting somewhere. Because it's a wound for the soul, really. I'm not saying I'm perfect. Nobody is perfect. But when you participate in something like that, it causes a wounding in the soul, like this guilt. Pretty sure he had it. And he did. He talked about it. A guilt. Really? Nuclear weapon? This is what they did with it? Ouch. Man, that's fucking painful. And I hope he can forgive himself because that's all it takes. Once you can forgive yourself, the healing happens. But that part of the reason why people don't forgive themselves is they've been told, do you know what you did? And the moral fascist coming at you. You know what you did? And I'm looking at them. Do you know what you did? You just don't remember, right? 500 lifetimes ago, 400 lifetimes ago. Yeah, that war, that was you. You want to go into a session right now so that we can remind you of that shit so you can get off your high horse? I love these sessions for people like that. Come, let's put you through it so that you can see what you did too. You can get off your goddamn high horse for once and for all. No, we've all fucked up. If you don't remember your past life, just assume it. You fucked up too. I did, we all did. Now we can forgive each other. And start saying that, how could you? Relax. Relax. Somebody who was born in a fascist family, so much money, never got censored. What do you think you're going to do? You're going to have an ego. It's just the way it is. So relax and forgive that motherfucker. It's not easy to be born in opulence and be a good person. It's very difficult. Because where do you learn compassion from suffering? Yeah, you've been broke before, right? You don't have any money, right? Aha. You were working hard, you still couldn't pay your bills. Now you're going to have compassion for the poor because you've been there. You know that it's not about they're lazy. But if you've never been poor, you won't get it. You just be like, these people, what's wrong with them? You're going to think something is wrong with them because you've always had money. And that's part of what I see in some of the middle class people in America. They don't get it. Too self righteous, in my view. And I love everybody, but I still see it. Oh, those people. They just, no, you are simplifying life. If Obama can become president, then how come this black, all kinds of nonsense people throw. I'm like, where's your humanity? You're looking at it from your head. Put yourself in their position. Somebody gets born to a crack addict mother, got raped, got abused, and you have the nerve to be judging that person and saying that they're not successful. You know the pain they had to come with? Where's your humanity? I tell people that talk like that. No, relax. You don't get it. I understand, but relax. Because what people been through. And I'm not putting myself above this. There are times I'm kind of hard on people too, but I see it. And I always find endeavor to correct myself. Hello, relax. Because sometimes people, what they've been through, it's so easy to just judge them. So at least for me, that's what I do for myself. And I know I sound a little preachy sometimes. I don't mean to, but I know I do sound like that. But I speak from my heart, and I hope people can feel that. So I hope that answers some of the questions about that. It prevents more and more people realizing that, for example, Federal Reserve. If more Americans were to find out that it's not federal, for example, right? This is not even conspiracy theory, right? This is basic 101. People call it conspiracy theory. I don't understand it. This is a fact. You can find Library of Congress. This is but people don't even do research. They just conspiracy theory. No, this is fucking fact. It's not owned by the U.S. government. It's owned by private entities, international bankers based in the city of London. In case you didn't know, and they print your money, and they decide America's future, and they print your weapons, and they take you to war when they feel like it, when they need the money, or they want to cause a little chaos. And everybody's blaming U.S. government. They don't know that the button's being pushed by the money makers. Imagine more Americans knowing that. Even if they're spiritual, right? Knowing that. The system will collapse. Because they'll be like, what? My federal taxpayer is going to what? Where is it going? To what? Military? Oh, okay. Who's printing the money? Oh, it's not federal? What? Who prints it? Oh, these entities. Oh, what do they want? Oh, and they want to keep it going? How do they keep it going? Right? Some of the topics of conspiracy theories. How do they keep it going? Ignorance. Keep people ignorant. People don't know this. Otherwise, 10 million Americans say, oh, okay, we didn't tell you to print the money. Thank you so much. Thank you. You can go back to wherever you can. We're going to print our own money because the U.S. Constitution, for example, these are not, people call everything conspiracy theories, but it's so true. It's just a fact. It's not even like it, but it's an important fact. The U.S. Constitution says the Treasury should, because the founding fathers, they knew about this shit. And part of why they came to create America was to get away from the evil British system, which is just nothing but usury. Okay? The Treasury is owned by the U.S. government and American people, and you print money based on the credit system. It's so beautiful. You know, somebody has an idea, wants to create wealth, you support them. They create wealth, you make sure they serve the city. You know, the wealth serves everybody, uplifts society. What's bad about that? The British system, these people, all they do is they just suck mobs, they suck blood. People who hate capitalism, like, don't hate capitalism. Hate monetarism. American system is not capitalist, it is monetaristic. And what is the difference? It's simple. Monetaristic system is always negative. It always sucks the blood out because it's based on lack. It's a very negative system. It's nothing but negative magic. You basically print money out of thin air. You convince everybody it's your God-given right. That's basically what they've done. We print the money for you because that's what we do. Oh, fuck you. That's what they convince everybody. Oh, yeah, okay, print the money. Why do? If I have to print money, if I can print money, you think I won't? You can print whatever you want. This because they count their money in the trillions. Because you print money for the people think it's just America. Whenever you hear the word central bank, that's their stamp. And most countries have central bank, the same motherfuckers. But these are not even hidden. I don't know why people call it theory. You just have to say it's obvious. You know, there are crazy conspiracy theories, and that's where people get messed up. because these guys create their own conspiracy theory, and it's extreme. And why did they create them? So that reasonable people can say, yeah, I don't think so. Then the mistake these reasonable people make, in my opinion, then they lump all of it together. Yeah, those nutcases. Yeah. No, the system is intelligent. That's what they do. Whenever I say anything extreme, I know they're at work again. Not insane ideas. They're at it again. But that's because they want to turn off the reasonable people from saying, this is a nut job. That's what they do. They've mastered it. So I tell people, use your critical thinking, separate the shit from the real stuff. There's a lot of bullshit. I'll give you one example right now. Just piss off some of my conspiracy friends. I like making a couple of enemies if I have to. I don't care. Let them go after me. I don't care. One of them, and this is not to say that the man is not a good or bad. I'm not judging. But whenever you put a leader out there, you say he's the one get rid of something. Watch out. Watch out. No single man can do that. That's what I call the savior complex. What is that? What else are you going to call it? It's a savior complex. He would do it. No, it's a trick. They're making you, again, it doesn't mean I don't support. Remember that. I may even support what they're saying. But you also have to look at the person's shadow. That's it. So that you can really, that's what I call conscious choosing. Just like in partnership. You see the person's negative and good side, and you make up, you choose. Otherwise, most people choose blindly. They look either at the negative, and they say, oh, that person is so evil. Then they demonize it. That's what it means to demonize somebody. And that's what I see all political parties do it. They demonize the other. Oh, they're negative, but they don't talk about their positivity. Nobody has a monopoly on evil. Even the most evil motherfucker you can imagine has something good in him or her. Fact. At least one thing. But everybody's like, oh, you're just a damn. No, look at both. See. It's conscious. When you open your eyes and then you say, oh, that's the rain, that's sunshine, that you can, okay. But you can, so anyway, that's part of what I wanted to say today. Again, I feel it's very important to know these things, in my view. The more people know whether you're spiritual or not spiritual, I feel like it make a big difference. Why? This kind of situation that's happening right now will cease to exist on the planet because people will just see through it. It would just be so easy, but you got to teach people from a young age. Teach people from a young age these things. But the leaders don't want people to know. Why would you want people to know your secret? Right? That's why people have to force it open. They have to demand it. Unfortunately, many humans don't care about truth anymore. The passion has been beaten out of them. And there's no truth. They call it relativism, right? No truth. I say absolute nonsense. He or she that doesn't seek truth anymore will become suicidal. I mean, it's called nihilism. Because you're going to want to kill yourself. What's the point of living then? That's no truth. Everything, no, they've beaten the love of truth. I had a professor tell me that when I was doing my PhD. I almost stopped breathing. I couldn't believe my ears. I thought she's on board. I'm doing PhD. What are we here for? She said, why do you care so much about this truth thing? I'm like, what? That began to open my eye. And y'all know where I did my PhD. Huh? So I'm not going to mention it. Some of you know. Those who are going to watch this. That started giving me insight. So when they began to give me trouble for my dissertation, I was not surprised again. I was like, of course they're not here for truth. So they want you to recycle the same bullshit like everybody else. And then they say, yeah, we want that because they don't want truth. Truth doesn't mean I am right, whatever. Truth just means it's an adventure. It's scientific mind. Let's try this. Okay, let's hypothesis. That's a dissertation for you. Hypothesis. Let's see. You explore. Oh, maybe we'll feel, maybe we'll get it. Yeah, that childlike energy is missing. So people just go, I believe it. And then they stop. Believe it and then you stop? No, 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 no. Keep searching. Keep searching. Keep searching. But how many people have the patience for that? So that's what sometimes I feel a little negative about. But somewhere in my heart, I know that everything will work out. So that gives me peace, in my heart. But sometimes I just like, where's the love of truth? It doesn't mean I'm right. Just that Joy. I don't understand that joy. What is the truth? That's what you think? This is what I think. Let's go do the research. Where is that spirit? I don't believe what you said. Bye bye. You know, my friend. You don't believe in the same thing I believe in. And people think this is a living? That's what you think? This is more the way I read. That's what you think? Prove it to me. Really? Let me sit on it. Let me go do my own research. That's what I read. Oh, there's a little hole to your theory there. You see that? Oh, I see that hole. Oh, okay. Oh, that is beautiful. But no, you disagree with me. You must hate me. You don't love me because you disagree with me. That's the kind of people that I see all over the place. Just children. You know how many friends, lovers I've lost during this? Friends, people that I thought were friends. Oh, you don't agree with, oh, you don't love me. What? Are you 10 years old? Are you 4, 2, 3 years old? No, I disagree with that idea. Can we talk about this? No. You're just a power hungry guy. Me, power hungry? I'm just trying to find truth here. No, you think you're right. Okay, maybe I think so. Correct me. No, I don't want to be your friend again. It's just unbelievable. But I've gotten used to it. I don't even care anymore. You just got to do what you do. That's what I do now. And whoever doesn't want to share this beauty. That's why I never unfriend people that don't agree with me. I never. I just tell them, can you at least be open-minded? The ones who are not open-minded, those are the ones I unfriend. And I'm getting rid of them. I made some posts recently, and I'm going to keep doing it. I just look, they start acting crazy, cursing people out on my page, telling people they're stupid, sleep. I start taking them off. Not because they agree or disagree with me. It's just, if you're not open-minded, what's the point? You're just going to stay in my thread to negativity. That one, yeah, call me a hypocrite. Those people, I unfriend them quick. Because I can see they don't care about truth. They just want to be right. So I don't need that. But people who say, this is my view today, they say, okay, I disagree with you, but so far, based on what I know, what I've known, I believe in, I want to wear the mask. Oh, I respect that. Oh, based on what I know, I don't want to wear it. I respect that. But, oh, you're so narcissistic. You don't care about anybody else. You start insulting people on my thread, people like that, some of you, off. No, get off. Get off, my thread. I don't want that energy at all. Because before you know it, it starts staining the whole thing. Before everybody becomes negative. It's contagious, like a bad fart.
Like a virus.
Like a virus. It stains the whole thing. And then people are like, Oluwa, I thought you said you're very open to everybody. Yeah, I'm open to everybody. But there's enough negativity on the planet. I don't want it on my thread. Just don't want it. You can call people, I do that, motherfucker, whatever thing. But don't say people are sleeping, sheeple, whatever, to people and tell them they're stupid. And so that's so fucked up. How do you know they're stupid? Maybe they're right. But the moment you tell them they're ignorant, call them names, that's it. Over. Okay, what else to say? I think that's pretty much it. I think I'm probably going to shut up in about 5, 6, 7 minutes now. Any more questions? But I hope I did justice to it, right? Because I go all over. That's just how I am. People who don't like it, they can. I'm here, there, because I'm just in the flow of it. No, little or no structure. That's my way, It's part of what I love about Osho. There was a lot of that in his book. If you're talking about you go this way, to me that's poetry and science mixed together.
You always bring it back.
So. I try to bring it back to it because otherwise it's just flat and boring. Same topic. You stay on it on point. To me, it's like linear brain. I'm not linear at all. Like no. Ask me something about oranges. I'll take it to Noah's Ark first. The first oranges. Who cultivated them? Then I'll bring it back to your question. It's fun, right? Otherwise, it's so flat. Oranges, okay, in 1845, the orange first one was grown, and then 10 days later, there was a flood, and I'm going, oh. Yeah, that's why I study mythology, not history. History is fucking boring. Just memorize all this nonsense date. What did Hitler invade Germany? All kinds of, it's like fact. Mythology. Oh, now you got me. Now we're singing songs, we're dancing, now we're exaggerating things. Say, Krishna moved the mountain. Because mythology is for lovers.